Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster and Arnie. Arnie's been struggling for years on trying to finish this manual. We actually started working on it together 5 or 6 years ago, and I've taken that long with manuals too, so that's certainly not lambasting in any way. But he said, I really got to get this thing out of the way and get it done. And so he made a solid attempt to actually do that and get through this particular assignment in the manual, which requires that the speaker is to present a training program on how to prepare and present a speech. The presentation will be videotaped and played back during the meeting. I guess we don't videotape anymore. We YouTubed it and we played it back. So, Arnie, first I want to ask you, where was this actually recorded?
Across campus.
Okay.
In a classroom.
Was there anybody in the room?
No.
Other than whoever?
No.
Or you just talked to the camera? Okay.
Talk to the hand.
Right. Arnie has given tremendous speeches, and you saw a lot of the points he makes in his speech that he had here in this particular assignment. Television, however, I don't think is Arnie's bag, and he'll be the first to admit it. And most of you know I'm involved with television, and so I was looking at it from the standpoint, Arnie, of how did you come across to me as a person performing on television? And I would say, first of all, if I really focused on what you were saying, you definitely made the points. But you know, I got more out of those points last week when you gave the speech at the division contest. Why? Because you were energetic there. You had our attention, you grabbed our attention. I almost fell asleep watching this. You and I are good friends, I can say that to you. We've been together for a long time. It droned on and on. You were the professor giving your standard lecture, and we were all falling asleep. And you can't do that on television. Okay? You have to be energetic. You've got to have the enthusiasm, and you showed zero enthusiasm when it isn't. I really have to go through this, and I know I mean it, but I'm not enthused about this at all. And that's what came across when you did that speech. So that's important too. That's probably the biggest thing. And when I first started television, that was the thing they told me. Just be energetic and you'll be fine. Show enthusiasm. And there are times when I go in there on Saturday morning and I don't feel like being very energetic. I've got to put it on. But let me tell you, if you want people to watch you, you've got to get their attention. And then that's the way to do it, is through the energy level. A few lesser points, I would say. First of all, you had a number of pauses in the speech. You stopped. Make your point. That's fine if you're giving a speech, but it's not fine on television. That's dead time. And that's when I woke up. You stopped talking. If I was doing the weather at KSBW, if I stopped talking, people were, what's going on? Is something wrong with the volume here? So you have to basically have a continuing flow of information. You had a little trouble with eye contact too. It's not natural for a speaker to look at that camera the whole time, especially since you weren't really moving around. If you were moving around and you were putting notes on the board, pigs, write out the word pigs or whatever applied to your speech and then come back to the camera, that's fine, but you were looking here, there, across, and even though you were trying to look at the camera, it showed that you really weren't comfortable doing it. So I think that these are the points that you have to work on the most. And if you ever try this speech again, is just get that enthusiasm level up where you had it at the contest last week, and you'll do just fine. And I know you're going to just knock them out of the arena next week at the district contest with that same information, but with a more enthusiastic approach. Mr.